Hi. In recent appearances, I've focused on breath oscillators in Asian markets, and they were very effective in giving us warnings of the decline, both in January and then more recently following the rally that occurred after markets reopened and following the Lunar New Year holiday. Now we're seeing something different, which is that breath oscillators are not bouncing, they're not recovering from deeply oversold levels. The first chart shows the TAIEX index, which is a broad index of stocks in Taiwan. And you can see the very steep decline occurred when they reopened following the holiday. But the breath oscillator made a higher low at that point, telling us to expect a rebound rally. That rally occurred. And then again, the breath oscillator showed a divergence. It began to deteriorate while index prices were still rising, and that warned of the coming decline that we've just seen. Now we're seeing the breath oscillator unable to recover, and in fact, the charts I'm showing you today, we've had to add more space to the bottom of these charts because these oscillators have just moved to such extreme levels. And it's important to note that, oscillators are supposed to oscillate. And when they stop working, it's an indication that a trend is extremely strong. And it really shouldn't be, you shouldn't fight it. Second chart shows the Australian ASX 200 index. And here too, as that index rallied in late January and into early February back up to recent highs, the breadth numbers were poor and, in fact, barely neutral, and they deteriorated ahead of price. And now we've seen both price and breadth collapse precipitously. And here, too, I needed to add more space to the bottom of the chart today just to show the extreme damage done by the breadth. And that tells us that we really shouldn't try to step in front of this strong trend and pick a bottom. And thirdly, the TOPIX index, which is a broad index of Japanese stocks. And again, the same idea. Now, there wasn't a good indication, or there wasn't a divergence warning of the decline in this instance, but we saw recently, last week, commenting to subscribers that the inability of the oscillator to bounce under extreme selling was in itself bearish. And in fact, then since, now the oscillator has moved sharply lower once again, and this is another example of needing more space added to the bottom of the chart. So when oscillators stop working, it gives us an important message, and that message now is these markets, this trend remains extremely bearish.